Magnificent. I always like that intro. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. and it is April the 13th. For you time travelers, just making sure you know where you're at. We want to make sure that you guys understand, exactly where you are in space and time. And let's make sure I got that turned down. And everyone,
Lemurians, it is probably the year 14,075.
yeah, man. That's a good point. Absolutely good point. Because time is completely relative to where we're at. Why do I not think of these things? I am sorry if I offended anyone with that. Any of you time travelers? Terribly sorry. Let's get over here and welcome some people into this thing. I am Ron. That over there is Brandon. And this is the Wild and Weird Radio Live show. And tonight, man, we got some weird stuff we're going to be talking to. There's a lot of UFO news that's going to be going on. I want to get the audience opinion on some stuff. So you guys will be chiming in and telling us what you think, because there's some interesting things happening. Right, Brandon?
Oh, yeah, a lot.
There's some really interesting things. Yeah, really interesting things happen. And then later on, we're going to touch upon a little bit of what tomorrow's show is actually going to be about. The podcast that will actually come out. The audio version comes out at midnight for you guys who just listen on audio. But you're going to want to watch this one because there's some really cool visuals and there's some really cool things that happen that I can't explain. Goes right in with that synchronicity thing. It's very strange. Anyway, we had Dewey on last week for you folks who don't know, and oh my goodness, was it absolutely incredible. That show was a record breaker, right, Brandon?
Yeah, it broke every record.
It literally broke every record. And I think it was over 3.5 hours long. And I don't think I've had as much fun. It was just absolutely so much fun, so informative, and we just touched like on everything that Dewey did. It was like a massive briefing, basically, is what it was. And we didn't get to go so much into Kate and the whole Bell Witch phenomena itself. So we're going to have Dewey come back on for that. Plus, when Dewey gets his book out about Mantell, that he's coming back on for that. So you guys will get to see Dewey again. So let's give some shouts out to some peeps out there. We got James Boggs, who just came in over there. Hello, James. Hello. Pop you up there. Hello. There's the man right there. There's Dewster. Welcome aboard, my friend. Welcome aboard.
Hope you're feeling better, Dewey.
Yes, absolutely. We've got Teresa. Teresa's over there. Hello, Teresa. Spooky Appalachia, always welcome.
Jimmy himself.
Yes, Fish Belly, welcome aboard. Let's see who else we got. See Chris Coots down here somewhere. There's Chris. Chris and I are working on some really cool joint projects that'll be coming to the table soon that will probably blow a few people's minds. You'll be able to catch those exclusively at shows, I believe, is how we're going to do that. We're not sure yet. Facebook user, if that's who I think it is, hello. Let's see. We have Carly. Carly made it. We got Stingray 1975. Welcome. And I'm trying to keep up with all of these. Man, you guys keep them coming. I'm reading them as fast as I can. Got that. Adam. Welcome, Adam. Adam is here. Adam is the sponsor for this month's episodes, by the way. Adam made incredible purchase over on our website, and that's how we pay for everything. Is when people support us, and that's how you support us. We don't ask for donations and whatnot. We just sell goods, and hopefully you like the goods. So can't wait till you get those. They'll be in. Actually, you'll have them this weekend. So,
Adam, you'll especially enjoy this week's podcast episode.
Oh, you're gonna love this week's podcast episode. Absolutely love this week's podcast episode. Okay, so I think we've got everybody in. Everybody, go out and share this thing. Hit your share, and make sure that we get this room packed it just keeps going up and up, which is just awesome to see. Let's see. Go over here real quick. Let's find. Wait a minute. I'm trying to find my YouTube over here. Hang on one second. Da, 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 da. And of course, we're going to have open. The floors will be open tonight for questions. Just like always, there's not going to be any real. We're not going to cut you guys out. So I'm trying to say. Trying to do two things at once. Here we go. I'm going to send you guys the link. Just there you go. Just share that out. There it is. Yeah, just copy and paste that just on your page or your whatever, and get that thing out there, social media, and let's see if we can get some people in. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. You talking about first and foremost. There was a very interesting. Sighting this week. Or not this week. Actually, it's just started to take off this week. It happened about a week or so ago, right, Brandon? You want to go over the briefing on that while I queue up some footage for these guys? We're gonna actually look at this, and we're going to let you guys determine what this is, okay? Because I want to hear from you guys. What's spooky?
First and let him
spooky.
See it, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, will Ron show his secret crystal skull tonight? Well, that depends if there's enough people and if the people want to see the spooky crystal skull tonight. Tony, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. When do we get to see the Indiana Jones? Yeah, there you go. That'll be a little later, buddy. It'll be a little later. All right.
And I wish I had an Indiana Jones hat.
I know. Okay, so anyway, the sighting. Let's go over that sighting and pull this thing out. Do you have the let's see if I can have this, not the steels, but the screen share. I have it right here. I'm going to go over here, and we'll go to present, and what we're going to do is share screen. Okay. All right, guys. I've got this thing queued up over here in, actually, you know what? Hang on. I'll let you see the video first. I'm doing this backwards. Here. I got the video queued up for you guys. Man. I swear, I'm going to have to get somebody to help me run the studio. This is hard. All right, here we go. This is the video, and I know you guys have seen it by now, probably, but anyway, here's the video. Does it look familiar to you? Now, this was off of the Twitter screen grab that I did last week when it first popped up.
I think it's looking at, man.
Yeah. So there it is, and this is how they've slowed it down and whatnot. We're going to do a little more to it, though. We're gonna all do it together, and we're gonna look at this thing, and we're gonna look at what the skeptics say. That is where that particular one came from. He's showing exactly where it was pulled from. Okay, so this was pulled from a social media site of the pilot and a pilot's friend, I believe, is how that went. Anyway, there is the footage. I want to know what you guys think right off the bat, right now. And what do you think? Do you think that's a legit UAP craft? Because it's certainly not our traditional UAPs, is it? It's
yeah,
not.
And see if anybody recognizes any
That-
particular details about this thing.
Yeah.
See if it reminds you of anything that has been discussed in the past. See who can pinpoint it.
Adam said the Aurora craft. Yeah, right. It's odd looking and not a sphere. That is the number one takeaway from this, my friend. Yes, that is the number one takeaway. Because what have we been seeing lately? And by lately, I mean since like 2017. The shape of almost all UFOs, UAPs, has been a sphere. It's been a glowing orb. It's almost like the saucers have disappeared. It does. It absolutely does. It reminds me of Flight of the Navigator craft, Teresa said. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It looks like the Flight of the Navigator. If you look at it from the angle that it's at, yes, it absolutely does. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some magic. We're going to go over here to, I'm going to pull over the next, I got my next monitor here, and so I can manipulate this thing down here. So I'll be looking down while I'm doing this. But we're going to go in and we're going to do a little bit of our own analysis on this thing. So I'm got that.
I'm gonna pull out my sonic screwdriver, and then I remember the top of it broke off.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right, let's go to the screen share again. And window, here we go, guys. All right, so I've got this thing pulled up, and you should be able to see it there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more for us, though, so we can get a better look at it. And you're also going to notice that this is the name up in the corner. This would be from the original, this is here from the original post. So this is who originally posted it. And the theory is either that's the pilot or it's co-pilot friend or something like that. So anyway, here's the craft or whatever it is, the object. Let's call it the object. We're going to back it up. All right, it's coming into frame. We're going to follow this thing. And we're going to watch as and kind of notice and see if we see any difference in the shape of it frame by frame. Now already you can see right here, there's already a little bit of a reflection already starting on this thing. You see that? Mm-hmm. Can you make that out? No reflection. Boom, reflection starts right here. Shape looks fairly consistent. It's changing a little though. Next frame. Definitely showing the metallic look to it now.
Oh, yeah.
We can see that really good metallic sheen. I'm going to go in a little farther. I don't want to go in too far because we'll start blowing it out, but we're going to do a little bit to it and see if we can pull this a little more detail out of this thing. So let's go over here and sharpen it just a tiny bit. That way we can see there we go. We can see that glare just a little bit better. Now this does look very consistent with the lighting that's going on in here. And you know, the first thing that I thought was, wow, this is some really good CGI. But there's something I'm noticing here that a lot of people put in when they do CGI, including myself. We put a motion blur in. Well, this thing's not showing a motion blur. I don't know if you guys are noticing that or not. Let's go back here. Pull this back out just a little bit. Everybody has to shoot, you know, in vertical anymore.
Turn your camera sideways, for the love of God.
Nope. They all do this just in case they have to post it, you know. So, okay. There we go. All right. So now we're going to watch this thing come into frame. It's out there. See it right out there. So let's go in there and see what the thing's really doing. Okay. Let's zoom in because it's pretty far back there, but there it is. It's right there in the clouds. Let's see if we can make this out. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you guys are seeing that or not. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, you can see it puff through the cloud.
Yeah, you see that, right? There's like, and it's almost flat right here. You see this? That's because it's behind a cloud.
You can see the vapor coming off of it too from the cloud.
It sure looks like that's what we're seeing. You see that? And then it dissipates. I can also still see the trail right here. You see the trail coming off the back of it? You guys see that, right? It's not just me. Oh, man. Hang on.
That's fake. Okay. They really wanted.
That's what I'm saying. If this is a fake, this is the most advanced CGI I have ever seen because that's not in there. Once it comes through the clouds, it's gone. That's incredible attention to detail is what that is. So let's go back to our clip with the ship or whatever it is. Here it is. Pull this thing down just a little bit more. I'm just going frame by frame because I want to see. We're going to look at this, and then we're going to look at what the skeptics say, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. Oh, okay. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. If you back it up, you can actually see that trail really well right off the side. And I don't know that anybody's really noticing that. Like I haven't heard anyone else talking about that trail. But it's clearly there. And then it just zips by the plane. But this seems to be the grab that everybody has. It's the close up on the craft itself, or whatever it is.
That's how smooth the bottom of it is too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at this smoothness on this. This
Like
is important.
No dome shape to it
No, no, it's more. This is the only bit of a dome you've got, and there's been comparison to this thing to the S4 Unicraft, the Bob Lazar craft, only in the way that it flies. I don't think it looks anything like that. I think this is a pretty original design. I don't know what it is. I'll be honest with you guys. This was over Colombia, is where it was over, Tony. It was actually filmed from a Beechcraft flying over Colombia. And it was posted on Twitter, I believe, on April 5th. And it was kind of quiet for a bit, and then it started making headway. And today, of course, we got the word that it's just a balloon, guys. It's just a balloon. So let me find a picture of the balloon for you guys that they're saying that this is. And now I want you, because we have some smart people here, Brandon. We have probably some of the smartest people in our group, and who show up to these. And I want to know what they think. Let's see if I can find the picture of the balloon. Now, wait, I know how to find it. Hang on, I'm doing this the hard way. I keep forgetting I have this thing open down here. Let me stop sharing for a second. Okay. And let me get you guys a picture of the balloon. Import. And it's right here. Should be right here. Add overlay. Okay, here you go. This is the balloon. There's the balloon. Okay, so
how could a balloon be flying that fast?
Okay, well, according to the skeptics, it's not flying. That is pretty much a drifting around up there, right? And the plane's passing it to making it look like it's flying. Okay, that sounds like a great explanation, doesn't it? There's only one problem with this explanation, and it's a pretty big problem. I mean, it's a seriously big problem. They compare it to here it is, compared to a Festo air ray, although the particular balloon was only created, get this guys, as a prototype concept balloon to demonstrate natural movement in aerial vehicles. Furthermore, the Beechcraft that you got there, it flies anywhere between 31,000 and 22,000 feet. The air ray, can you read that last part, Brandon?
Has only been demonstrated in flight near the ground.
Yeah, it's a ground level, basically a concept type vehicle from what we're understanding. So how did one get at 20,000 feet? That's anyone's guess at this point. So I think that it's pretty safe to say that that's not a balloon. And that's exactly what the witness says, by the way. She's been interviewed multiple times now, and she seems pretty credible. Now, I have to admit to you, I thought this was CGI. The more I look at this, I am ruling it out. And that's pretty big for me because I know what it takes to make this stuff, guys. I've been doing computer graphics and CGI work for pretty much almost 20 years now, something like that. That's not CGI. If it is, it could be, but if it is, we're talking like Lucasfilms and beyond. Okay, this would have been something that would have took a studio to pull off. Is what I'm trying to get at. I couldn't do it, and I don't think any of you could do it. Not to this degree, anyway. It's fantastic. It's just really, really good. Now, do I think it's 100%, a UFO? Well, it's flying. And that's as far as I'm going to get it. I'm not going to say it's an alien spacecraft. I know that's what a lot of people are going for, but I don't know that that's what it is. So I can't say that that's what that is. But I can tell you that if there was such a thing, I would probably say that this is probably the closest that we've gotten to some high definition footage. And it seems to me that that's what everybody has been wanting forever. Right? Can we just get a clear image? So we got a clear image. Hey, Ike. Uh-oh. They got him. So we got a clear image, and now we're saying, it's a balloon. So what do you guys think of this thing? Yeah, you noticed that too. So I mean, what do you think about it, Tony? I mean, I want to hear. What are you guys thinking this is? Greetings, Facebook users. And someone called us a human. It's okay. We still like you.
Maybe the bottom of it just has like a wedge shape.
I don't know.
Very subtle.
I don't know. You got to remember, we're looking at it in a certain dimensional, right? I mean, she didn't take that camera and turn it back around, and we couldn't see the other side, and she didn't fly over top of it, and try to get a better shot or anything. So what we got is what we got. But I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive for what it is, whatever it is. Well, see, there you go. Well, the way that devil broke through the clouds, it's obviously powered. Yeah, I mean, it looks like that thing it's not blowing in the wind, right? That's what I'm getting at. I don't think this thing is blowing in the wind.
I think it's entirely possible that thing could be some sort of craft that was reverse engineered from the stuff that Lazaro was inspecting.
Well, hey, I mean, we can't say 100% yay or nay on that, but I find it interesting that it's flying in the exact same way that Lazar claimed that those things flew. So if someone faked this, they did it as an ultimate division campaign, to get the believers and the non-believers to fight, because there's so many people who they don't believe Bob's story anyway. So what better way to get everybody at everybody's throats right on the heels of what's getting ready to happen here next week, buddy?
There's going to be a public hearing from the director of Arrow about a lot of information that they have obtained so far. There's also going to be a closed door meeting too.
Oh, well, of course there is. Of course there is. I mean, there's always a closed door, isn't there? I mean, that's pretty much what it's come down to at this point. We get, that's what we get. I was trying to find you guys a picture. There's a really good one here. Oh yeah, I got it. It's right here. Okay. Save as. And I'm gonna put these up, and I want you guys just for a second, just use your imagination. You don't have to use too much of your imagination, but take a look at this. Okay. So this is how Bob described the craft flying. This is what we got. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not making this up. It's just,
It does seem pretty similar, except the dome on the bottom is.
yeah. I don't think it's the same craft. I really don't. But I think that you are seeing, you're seeing a similar flight characteristic. And what's really crazy is that's also how the original Tic Tac. Remember how it was tracking and turning sideways? Or gimbal. I can't remember. I can't keep these things straight, the names of them.
Can you find a picture of the sketch that Bob Lazar did of the craft he was working on?
I got that somewhere. I actually have. I don't know where it's at. Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, that's pretty much a good model of it right there. That's kind of what it looks like as far as that goes. I believe that is the one that was
Oh, I
used.
found it.
Yeah, that one was the one was that was used for the model kit that they made. Anybody have that? That was a cool model kit. I had to rebuy it.
Maybe the one he sketched for that documentary.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. That's yeah, that's the one I have a copy of. Save image as. So, what are you guys thinking out there? I want to know. Are we looking at? Is this legit? What do you think? Do you think we're looking legit, or do you think we're looking at a legit fake? And if it's a fake, it's a deep fake. That's pretty obvious because someone did some homework. And then we have to figure out why. Why would you go to all that trouble? You know?
Post it with an obscure Twitter account.
And post with an obscure Twitter account. Exactly. And that's Bob's. Yeah, that's a picture of one. The one I have says, I told you so on it, which is priceless.
Now, at the bottom of his on that drawing
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
looks closer to what that thing looked like.
Yeah.
The dome is very subtle on that.
Yeah.
But maybe the camera just
It's angle. Yes, camera angle. And we also, there's some people who are saying that that's, we're seeing like a field around it. Like we're looking at some kind of gravitational lensing or something. It's kind of distorted. Who knows? I mean, we don't know what these guys are playing with out there. Let's be real. I mean, it's, there's some crazy stuff. And like you said, next week, they're going to be meeting again to determine what to tell us, what we can take in, I guess, before our heads explode. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. We got James Boggs saying Nazis from Antarctica. Face orange, biting nails. There you go.
one.
That's an old one. Yeah, that's a good one. Patrick, yes, he believes we are seeing the same thing. What is it? Wonder how far from the plane. Well, there's a really good question right there because she actually. We linked that to our page. I think Tobias Whalen, he shared the article, and I shared it from his to ours. A great write up that they did, and in that write up, they actually talk about she saw this thing and was basically looking for it again. That's how come it looks like, the cameras. That's one of the big skeptic things. It's like, oh, well, she was pointing at the clouds. Yeah, she's pointing at the clouds because she knew it was in that cloud bank. And she was already looking for this thing again because it had already, I guess, came out before. It looks very close to that plane. I mean, dangerously close to that plane is what I'm getting at, James. So,
It was so close that you would think she might have felt some turbulence or something like that.
And I agree with what Tony's saying. That's not a saucer in the video. It's definitely shaped more like the air ray, even if that's not what it was. Yes, it is. It has, and that mana look to it, right? And you know what's really funny, guys? That is the same look that another very famous craft was alleged to have had back in the day. So are we looking at, someone had said it there originally, the Aurora. There was some concept images of Aurora craft. I won't say spacecraft. Almost did. Oops. There was the Aurora, which some theorized was reverse engineered. Hey, Ashley's here. Hey, Ash. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. It's the Jupiter 2. That's it, my friend. They finally made it back. That's what we're seeing. Yeah, Adam said the Aurora. That's right. Yeah. So it does. It has that Aurora look to it, and it also has. I think it has one of the descriptions of the original Roswell craft was it had kind of a wedge look to it, kind of a wedge shape, something like that to it as well. So. I don't know, man. I'm just saying that if someone faked this thing, they did it for a reason, and they did a darn good job, and they chose the perfect time with the new hearings coming up next week. So And we saw this before too, Brandon. The last time that there was hearings, what was it? Corbell came out with the video of the triangles. Remember that? And then they started debunking that, and it started pulling the community apart. It's the division game. They do this every time. It's a push and pull. Every time that we get something, someone has to come out and, oh no, that's not what that is, and interject the confusion. And that is the whole state of ufology. And it's pretty much been that way for a good 10 years now. It's definitely changed to this, infighting kind of thing that goes on. And I get it. We don't want to be, led by, false information. But at the same time, I don't think that we can just automatically jump and say, well, that's 100% a balloon and that's the end of the story when we don't have the full story. We just need more data. And we always need more data.
Yeah, if they have managed to, if it is man-made and they have managed to make the jump from the craft that we have now to that kind of craft, that's incredible. Because that thing had no visible means of propulsion.
Mm-hmm.
Show a heat trail coming out of it. It was flying what appeared to be sideways.
Yeah, we
pretty
think.
Quickly too.
Yeah, we can. Let's scrub that back. We got some newer people in there. We'll let them see the. See if I can find that vapor trail or whatever it looks like. That's not vapor trail, but I think it's where it's coming through the clouds when it punches through. And let's see. Oh man, I swear, if people could just shoot in horizontal, my life would be so much easier. Okay, here it is punching through.
It'd be great if some AI could figure out how to make that.
Oh, don't you start. Don't you start with me in that AI stuff. Those are fighting words. All right. All right, I'm sharing the screen again.
Hey, Chat GPT.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Right. All right, let's pull this thing back up. Let's go to full screen. All right. So what we were looking at there earlier for you guys who didn't get to see it, this is what we're talking about. You see that right there? As it comes through the cloud, right there, frame by frame, you can see what looks like it's punching through the clouds, and that's vapor. And you can still see the vapor right here coming off, and then it just dissipates. Once it gets closer, you can't make out the vapor at all. But right there, we can definitely see there's a little bit of a vapor trail, which means that something is following that. And by something, I mean there's some a charge or something around this craft that's pulling that in. There has to be. Just trying to kind of get it out there a little bit for us so we could see that a little better. There we go. There we go. We'll be able to see that trail just a little bit better now. There. Very clear. Better, yeah. Very clear. Very clear. Right there. Punches through and boom. Right there. If I zoom in anymore, we're just going to get a bunch of pixelization and, people will start seeing faces and stuff, and it's going to be completely counterproductive. But we can definitely see that right there. I don't think that's a camera artifact because we can still see it right here. See that little color difference right in there, which that's what you would expect as it dissipates out. So I don't know, guys. You guys be the judge of that one. I don't think we can say much without knowing more on that. I'd like to know, just like someone else had asked, how far away from the craft. I think that was James. Yeah, I'd like to know how far that was too, and we'd be able to get a good size estimate on that thing. I find it amazing myself that this thing flew over, right? And no one shot it down with a $500,000 missile. Just saying. I mean,
What was NORAD going insane with? Oh, wait, that's North America.
Yeah, well, there you go. But they were still tracking stuff, I mean, let's go ahead and close that. Okay. So anyway, that was rather exciting. And I still don't know. I still don't know what it is. And Dewey said he thought he saw Sky Daddy out there. I mean, he might have. It's very possible. It's his domain. Let's see. Is it crossing the plane's path or making an intentional pass at the plane? That's a good question. It's a very good question.
I
And
just saw it and it was like, hey, what's that? And I just flew right close to it.
yeah. And it kind of looked like they were playing tag there. I mean, I don't know. Looks like a dog fight without a, without a chance is what it looks like. I would not be going up against that. Let's put it that way. So we have that. We had what other paranormal or UFO-ish type news do we have going on, Brandon? Was there anything else going on out there that?
There was that declassified document about the UFO encounter in Antarctica back in 1962.
Yeah, don't you find that amazing that we're starting to talk about Antarctica? Yeah. Did you guys see the one with the and basically that there's the clock ticking? Not me. I didn't say it this time. It was somebody official who said that there's a clock ticking and that pretty much we're, what did he say, 2027? I think he said something like that. Yeah, 2027. That we're something's coming. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's that close, but there's definitely something there. And it's what I think we said that back during Flatwoods, back when we did Flatwoods. That was in 2021. That was part of the little presentation that somebody asked, why is all this stuff speeding up? And I'm like, the only logical explanation is because something's coming and they're trying to get us up on par. That's literally what this guy says. So, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see.
Baby steps.
Yeah, it's baby steps. Yeah. But then you still got, again, like with this, if this is fake, buddy, this is also going to prove the fact that someone is just throwing handfuls of, sheet metal into the cogs as they're turning and trying to bring the whole thing to a stop. And, of course, the number one logical reason for that is, power. Yeah.
I would say it's just like they're trying to train the public to accept this knowledge.
But I think the public's
like
ready.
Little spoonfuls at a time.
I really do. I think the public's ready. I know there are some elements of the public that are not ready, but how about you guys? You're ready, right? What would anything change for you if you turn on the news tomorrow and they're confirming it now? It's not hypothetical. We've received not only a signal, but they're here, 100% here, and they've been here for X amount of time. I mean, would that affect any of you at this point?
It's astounding to me how many people I've talked to.
And okay, so the mystery is over, Brandon. I'm just gonna stop you right now because Tony said it's 100% balloon. That's the end of the story. And there you go. We got it. We got our answer. I mean, boom, just like that. I know, right? It's a balloon again. Always a balloon. No, we don't know what it is. We're just messing with you. But continue on, though. Continue on. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, actually, no, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Ashley, we're ready. The general public. And remember when we betrayed each other for toilet paper? I like to think people are better than that. But and I think I said this multiple times. We've said that there's going to be a few people who are just going to freak out, and I just think the majority of people at this point, though, are just like, yeah. I mean, let's be real. Let's think about this. Let's rewind our clock. Let's rewind everything and go back to before 2017. UFO sightings, happened. No one really cared, but all of a sudden, there they are. They're on. They're there. Everybody has to get used to it. UAPs are real. UFOs are real, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we get used to it. And for a while, people were a little excited about it. They start making news, but then all of a sudden there's nothing. Like people just start completely getting so used to it that it's just not interesting anymore.
Yeah, I swear that's like some people just forgot it happened.
Right.
Because I've talked to a lot of people. And
right.
Like, I never even heard that.
That's what I'm getting at. So, but you do have the ones like Ashley's talking about. You do have those people. You do have the people who, during 2020, who were stocking their garages full of toilet paper and hand sanitizer and trying to sell it and make a capitalism. There's nothing wrong with capitalism,
That
but
was all started
that's
because
savage
of stupid rumors
capitalism.
on the internet as well.
Exactly. But that's the whole thing. You think there's not going to be stupid rumors? I mean, come on, dude. There will be definitely stupid rumors. But I think that's what they're trying to cushion a little bit. But the rate at which they're pushing it out, it must
Maybe
be.
we should use the Ovulus later and see if she can tell us.
There you go. We'll fire up the Ovilus a little bit later and see if we can make God that.
If she can tell us, like, what rumors are going to happen.
And look here. Patrick Noble's already starting. He's already starting. If I said if I roll the toilet paper, come on,
God,
Patrick.
I remember, like, people post on Facebook, Sam's Club has toilet paper. Hurry up and get some.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. It's 2023. If Bigfoot crashed a saucer in my yard, no surprise. See? Yeah, right? I mean, you would kind of not even flinch at this point.
So if Bigfoot crashed a saucer in my yard and I killed it, and I showed it online with a video and pictures, people would tell me it was fake.
Yeah, they would. They totally would. Well, it's AI generated now. Yep. Fossil fuel spaceship. Yep, that's truth right there. You see it, right? This is, and for the whole day the Earth stood still kind of thing. If we even look at that and just play theory and conjecture with it and say that there was a meeting at some point, kind of like the whole alleged Valiant Thor thing. This to say that that's just a story that's made up, that's based on a true story, and maybe the true story was that there was a meeting, and it was determined that we weren't ready yet. Well, that's kind of what Ashid said, with the whole the Israeli defense minister thing, where he came out and said, well, there's a federation, but we're not ready to join it. Okay, I mean, what? And again, that made the news for 3 days.
Criteria that we have to meet first.
Well, I'm sure they do.
The last few are going to happen over the next.
One of the criteria is probably you got to get along, and that's just we're failing. We're failing miserably at this.
See you, aliens.
Right. And we're failing completely miserably at that. We can't even get along with ourselves, much less throw another species, a real species in there, an intelligent one at that. How's that going to go? But
remember when the balloon was flying over and like all the rednecks were shooting at the sky and they had to tell them to quit doing that?
You know what that reminded me of, right? That was ID4. Remember when they're up on the roof and they're warning the people not to shoot at the UFOs? Because they might trigger an intergalactic incident. Yeah, science fiction, but it happened.
True, it happened. Yeah.
What we got, Ashley? Same thing happened in the 50s. The media was filled with flying saucer stories. Yep, and then it disappeared. Yes, it did. And why it disappeared then was there was an active smear campaign. I mean, we went right from Project Grudge right into Blue Book. There was an active campaign to just pretty much discredit this whole thing and anybody who was involved with it. The only difference now is it seems like someone is trying their best and they're just meeting this opposition. For lack of a better word, it's I won't say good versus evil, but it's two sides. And one is like, yeah, we want to tell them the truth. And the other's like, nope, can't tell them the truth. And you have to question why they can't. Is it because for our own good? Is it for our own good? Or is it because they're going to lose power structure? And that's one of the theories that, you're looking at a loss of power structure. The economy will change. And
maybe that's just what the Illuminati really was the entire time.
Hey, you never know, man. You just never know, bud. You just never know. What we got says for Brandon, if the government tells me they're aliens, yeah, right. If the government tells me they're aliens. Well, have you noticed that, and I think this is really prevalent, with all the sightings. Whoa, did you see that? With all the sightings and with all of the contact cases, There's never been a take us to your leader moment reported, really. There has, I mean, there's one, but questionable. But not with like all these people who are being contacted, you know. They're being contacted individually. It's almost like they cut out the government part and said, yeah, this is about the people. This is about everyone. No power structure involved. And that kind of gives it a little bit of credibility, in my opinion. I mean, just that fact alone.
Or maybe it's a lot easier for them to talk to their leaders than it is for us.
Well, yeah, probably so. What's he saying? If Valiant Thor was legit and Gray Barker was happily spreading that story, mind you. Did I do it right? Mind you. Have we considered that the narrative fits the government position pretty conveniently? Like, if it's true, is the Valiant Thor case just propaganda? Yeah, right. If it's true. So that's the problem that we're dealing with, Tony. We're dealing with a phenomena that has been there's just so many lies. And like I always said, it's that lie sandwich. You got a little bit of truth, another lie, a little bit of truth, another lie. Man, it's one of those giant sandwiches that you see Shaggy eating in Scooby Doo at this point. I mean, it's what do they call them? The Dagwood sandwiches, I believe is what you call them. Yeah, that's what you're dealing with at this point. There's just so much confusion. And I'd really, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. But I have a feeling that this meeting next week, not much is going to happen. That's my take on it anyway.
I always hold out hope that maybe something will, but
nah, I don't think so. So, what we got, Adam? The government was contacted. The government always wanted too much power. They sidestepped and went to the people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably. That's kind of what I was getting at. It's like, you know, we tried it your way. Now we're going to go over here and do it our way. So that's kind of what it seems like. So anyway, I guess we'll have to wait till next week and see, you know, what's going to happen with all this. I'm not holding my breath at all on this, and I don't suggest anyone else hold their breath on it either. We will be watching this video, obviously, and seeing what comes of it, and seeing how that kind of shakes out. But as for that meeting, I don't think we're going to get anything new. I really don't. So let's talk a little bit about the episode that is going to air tomorrow and the fun that we had doing that episode. What did you think of it, Brandon?
actually, I learned a lot about the Crystal Skulls that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were all so unique.
Yeah.
I thought they were all basically the same thing, just different shaped. I didn't realize they had different.
Oh yeah.
Different stories behind them and stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah. They've all got their own origin stories. They all look a little different. I think it's a really good episode. Anyone who's interested in the subject is going to really like it. We enjoyed it greatly and learned a lot. Learned a whole lot. Skulls. Yes, Tony, skulls. We can't give too much away. We want you to watch the episode, but yeah, we'll let's talk a little. Let's talk about some skulls. I think that I went into it, and most people don't. I mean, I don't know. They kind of know and they kind of don't know. I've always been open to that kind of stuff. I've always thought, well, in a metaphysical sense, that these things are something, as far as quartz and crystals and all that goes. I think it's part of a lost technology, but that's just me. That's the way that I see these things, and I think that we honestly don't know how to access that, and sometimes it just happens. There are probably people who do know how to do it, but I'm just saying that it usually is just one of those incidents where you walk by it and it happens. And so I originally only considered that a few of these skulls may be actual, artifacts, like ancient artifacts. I'm pretty convinced at this point that just about every one of them that are claiming to be the ancient, so-called ancient skulls, are in fact just that. And what really did it was what we found out again about, surprise, surprise, the ruling by the Smithsonian, and how all of a sudden everything's fake in 1996. Seemed to be a banner year for that, 95, 96. So yeah, it's definitely something interesting. What we got? I want, I want your skull. I need your skull. Oh, geez. How many are there again? Okay, so there are literally, who knows? They're still digging these things up. But here's the thing. There allegedly, according to ancient Mayan belief, 13 of these things. And that's important to say that some Mayans believe that. That came out somewhere around, I think, 2012, when the whole world was getting ready to end. Well, I think it did, actually. I think it did exactly what it was supposed to do when we hit the whatever Bach tune there. But these skulls, there are 12 known. When the 13th found, it's brought together, and it's supposed to usher in this new age for humanity, a new age of enlightenment. And good Lord, we need it. So why are you guys just sitting around here? Why are you not out there looking for this skull? I mean, that's the only way we can get people enlightened. But what we got? Show it. Well,
like half of them are privately owned, and the rest
Yeah.
of them are in museums.
Yeah, there's a couple that are still in the museum. Paris Museum, the British Museum of History, and of course the Smithsonian. Now I'm going to show you guys a picture of the Smithsonian skull. I want you to see it. This is kind of not really a spoiler. We talk about all this in the show, but I want you to see this because I found this thing just to be fascinating. Where is it at? Da, da, da. Oh, that's not it. Hang on a sec. I'll get it first. Okay. Temporaries. Episode 144. Here it is. Now look at this. And keep in mind what you're seeing. First of all, you guys know that these things are made of rock quartz crystal. Rock crystal. That's pretty hard to dig through. Okay, even with modern bits, it's kind of a task. Today we can do it really well, but they're attributing some of these things. And when I say they, I mean the Smithsonian and some of the museums are now saying, oh, they're not pre-Columbian anymore. And they were made in the 19th century, early 19th century. Okay, keep that in mind, because this is the skull that the Smithsonian has. Now, we'll go through the detailed story of how this thing came about, but this was believed to be 100% authentic up until, the Smithsonian got in there and took a look at it and found out that, well, it's not, because it shows signs of advanced lapidary skill. If you look at that, that's hollow. You see that, right? It's hollow.
That part alone, hollowing it out would.
Do you have any idea, let alone carving a skull, but to hollow it out inside and to polish the inside as well, and to do this without modern, and I mean modern within like the past 10 years, tools? I'm sorry, I can't say that these things aren't something at that point, because they're amazing. They're amazing pieces. To me, there is an explanation for where they came from. What we got? How in depth did you go with Indiana Jones and source material? I did not. We did not touch Indiana Jones except to say that what was it? The British Museum or was it the Paris Museum? It was one of them. It was the Paris. Yeah, they had one. They had it on had it on display in like the 1800s. Then it took it off display for over 100 years and brought it back out when Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls first premiered. But they had hid it for that long, which was just crazy. But No, we didn't go into that. We went into actual real source material as far as we could find on some of these things, and we talked a little bit, you know, about the metaphysical properties of them. Of course, I'm not going to skip the extra dimensional hypothesis. What's wrong with you? You know me better than that. But we don't need Indiana Jones to do that. No, we really didn't talk about Indiana Jones, though. But we did talk about, the reality of these things more so. So I think that what we didn't get to talk about in it, because we didn't want to go. It was a long episode, so I had to cut it up. It just took forever, but I think that there was something I wanted to touch in that. It'll make sense to those who see it, in hindsight. But I believe that those were from the Olmec. I believe that if there was a culture that could have pulled this off, it was the Olmec. I don't think that they're 18th centuries. I don't think that they're some modern forgeries, as some of these people think. I believe that the Olmec definitely had the ability to shape those stones. They obviously made those giant, how many tons are those heads? And those things look immaculate. The giant spheres, those things they're polished. I mean, so they could have definitely did this. And I think that is also possible because there's this place, we talked a little bit about it in there, where they found that some of the jade masks were coming from. Now, the jade masks are 100%. They're from Teotihuacan era. They're there. They're 1,000 years old, 1,000+ years old, and they came from a central area. There was an area where these things were manufactured, and I'm betting you somewhere right in there, buried in that jungle, there's one central area where those skulls came from. At least a lot of those skulls came from. But as for, the extra dimensional hypothesis with these things, it's possible. It's possible that you are dealing with something that's more of a collective or a quantum computer, kind of. I mean, I think that's the best way to put it. That we just don't know how to turn it on.
I remember reading an article that proposed that the Olmec might have been Egyptians who had sailed over and populated South America.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of people who believe, the Olmec were basically travelers, and some think that they came from other places. And Tony, it is true that one of these tribes who had this skull, that was the one that traveled from Easter Island, right? Isn't that the one that said that they came from the Sky People? Yep. So yeah, they attribute it to the Sky People that they brought them down. And then of course you have the link with Easter Island, the bird cult, the Birdman cults. So something. I don't know. I don't know if they were physical or if they were extra dimensional. But it does seem that they actually had the power of flight, or at least assumed flight at some point. And we got Adam. One of them does a hole drilled all the way through. I think you're onto something there. What'd you say, Adam? I missed it. I bet Sky Daddy Matthew McConaughey figured out a way to smoke out the crystals. You guys are awful. Absolutely awful. On a side note, that's an interesting product you've come up with there, Ashley. Interesting. What you got?
This is a pipe with a skull on it that the Olmec made.
Yeah.
Look how similar that is to one of the crystal skulls.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
I sent it to you on Facebook.
I'm looking. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow. This is an Olmec pipe?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we should have. All right. Yeah, well, you guys got to see this. So let's pop this over here. Okay. Put that in here. Man, I wish I would have had that for the episode. Too bad I already cut it today. I would have definitely inserted that. That's impressive. So let's grab that image you just sent me. Desktop. Here it is. Look at this. That's amazing. This is a pipe, right? Here you go, Ashley. This is for you and Adam. Check that out. I want you to really check it out. Notice that indent right there on the side of the head. You see that? You see that? How about this? It's the same indent. I mean, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty big bit of data that points to the fact that they definitely could have been. Creepy. That is slightly terrifying. Yeah. Well, it is the Olmec. Kind of has that Aztec feel to it, as it would later. So, yeah. Let's see. Oh, Adam, why are you saying?
Selling that on eBay.
Did you really want me to say that? Did you really think I was going to say that? You guys, I swear, it's almost like you think I'm like Beetlejuice or something anymore. Nope.
Oh yeah, someone's selling it on eBay. By the way, I don't think that's necessarily legal. I don't know, but
it's legal. You'd be surprised at the artifacts you can buy. Oh yeah, it is.
They want $1,525 for it.
All right, who wants to go in and get? No, messing with you guys. What do you got, Dewey? Fall of 1973, following the Hickson Parker abduction, ushered in one of the largest waves of UFO sightings in U.S. history. It sure did. And I think that was the rebirth period, basically, is what I think that was, because that went on up in.
Search of helped that a lot.
Yeah, probably. But it went on up into the the mid 70s. When I had my experience as well. There was massive waves that were going through, and they went through here. So, I think that was the last up until 2017. That may have been one of the bigger waves that went through. Whatever they were, whatever caused it, I don't know. And you might be right, Brandon. It could have just been the fact that people were more exposed to it because of things like In Search Of,
Close Encounters came out in what, 78?
78. Yeah. I think it was 78. Pretty sure it was 78. The Autumn of Aliens. It's called The Autumn of Aliens. Well, we need to come up with a new name for this one because, these acronyms that they're coming up with, they suck, man. We got to come up with something better than that.
I remember reading that there were a lot of hippie groups in the late 60s who were intentionally trying to contact.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, we're talking about crystal skulls. Why not talk a little bit about that? Because it kind of goes right in with it. That was the age, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, so to speak. And which is funny because they're trying to do that again today. I don't think they understand what that means. But they were making devices that could essentially be used to communicate with. They were starting the basis of what would be called, Dewey said, were. Yeah, right. Were, are. They were doing what was basically the basis of what would eventually become CE5. Making contact. Physically making contact. Well, not physically, but mentally making contact and then possibly physically following up with it, right? But that's where that kind of came from. And it came from, well, we talked about that before, that's what's his name did there with the whole issue with beaming out the message, World Contact Day, the whole thing with that. It's kind of the same thing. It never really stopped. It was just, I think in the 60s you got a bunch of hippies who their mind was open, man. They were seeing the ether. They could see the connecting threads and all this, right? So why not?
There was a
Why
brief
not?
period where rock music was obsessed with UFOs. They had like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin writing songs about it.
Beth's here. Hey, Beth. Yeah, Saucer Full of Secrets. I love that title, by the way. That was always great. Little tongue-in-cheek thing there. Got any good recommendations for CE5 research? I've never experimented with it, but I'm willing to give it a go. You and me need to talk like one-on-one one day. Um, I can give you some ideas. As far as actual sources, honest to goodness, you don't need much. It's a lot easier than you think, and that should be terrifying to some people. Um, it's different. What you do as far as that goes, a lot of these guys are going out and they're doing the lasers, pointing at the skies and whatnot. And I'm not saying that don't work, because I did that last July and kind of freaked myself out, and got some really good footage that I'm still trying to figure out to this day. But as far as actually making contact with whatever it is, you want to definitely make sure that you're ready for that, because if you're not, it's not easy. I'm just going to say it's not easy, because that's the easiest way to put that to you. I think that it's important to look back at how our ancestors handled that. And what I'm trying to say here is they prepared for it. They had their ceremonies. Those ceremonies were not, to do anything really evil or demonic, as some people would have to say. It was to set their mind and to put their mind in the right place, because there's something there that can literally rip your mind apart if you're not careful. It has probably ruined quite a few people's lives, to be honest. What was
Not
that?
one of the kids.
Oh, thank God. Scared me. So, oh man. Anyway, yeah, Ashley, if you want to talk about that for real, get a hold of me, and we'll go over some stuff, and yeah, I'll get you some. I know, right? That's that synchronicity. It happens. That
Yep.
kind of stuff happens, and you'll notice that a lot too, a lot more. What do we got? Tony. To be fair, Albert Bender found her work on a day, 1953, and he wasn't much of a hippie. He was just weird, and
Yeah.
you think? I mean, this dude, he had some stuff. I mean, I think he'd be a pretty cool dude, honestly. I mean, he'd probably fit right in at these shows. And you're talking about a guy who made his own horror effects. Before you could go out and buy them on Amazon. He had to figure out how to do that stuff. I'm amazed about the dude. Just so it doesn't surprise me what he did. But no, I think that the hippies kind of got wind of that, and you got to remember the big festivals at Giant Rock and all that. It was just a prelude to that era that was coming up. So it was just a matter of time. It's like I'm hearing EVPs, man. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we did a little thing, actually, with my little crystal skull in the episode, and that'll be broadcast. And what's really weird about it is there's actually some pretty good evidence of what we would call synchronicity. Wouldn't you say? There's some really good synchronicity. In fact, out of what was it 5 hits? I think 4 or something. I don't know, but some of them are absolutely direct. and we kind of freaked ourselves out a little bit, I think. But yeah, it's a good episode. I want you guys to watch it, and I want you to give us your honest feedback on it. We did quite a bit of research on that thing, and I don't know how many pages I wrote. It was ridiculous when I sent the briefing document over to the guys. But and Joe had a kind of a he was sick at the time of recording, which was wonderful. So you'll get to hear him make some interesting noises. And so I'm going to. Do you think we should do one of the sessions just for the fun of it? You think?
As well.
Think we should do that?
Yep.
Okay, so we got like 15 people. I mean, that's enough for me. If you guys want to do it, I will go grab my little crystal skull, and we'll pull out the Ovilus and have a special Ovilus session with the crystal skull, and you all can ask it one question each, if you want to do it. If you do, just say it.
Oh, why don't you tell them a little bit about your crystal skull?
Oh,
Why it's special?
Anna, yeah. It's special because of where it came from. And the shop that it came from, it's been in direct contact with the Mitchell Hedges skull. And there's another one of the famous skulls that stays there from time to time. So it was also in contact with that one. It's been in contact with a lot of people. So she's very special. She's very cool. And all right, yeah, I'm getting a lot of yeses across the board down there. So it looks like we're going to probably do this. I got a call from Franklin, Kentucky History Center today and got invited to assist in investigation and document the ground penetration radar at the Mantell crash site. Yes, yes, yes. Yes,
That'll be
yes. That is awesome, my friend. Now, this is a big deal. You know, there's probably still stuff there, too. I mean, honestly, there. I hear them. Okay, so I got 1 yes, 2 yes, looks like 3. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like we got people who want me to go pull the skull out. So, all right, Brandon, you entertain people. I'm going to go grab a crystal skull. I can't believe those are words I'd say one day, but live. All right, I'll return, guys. I'm going to disappear now. Watch me. I'm just going to disappear into the background. It's going to be magic. Magic.
Who else agrees that Ron is slowly turning into a crystal skull? Oh, the new Loch Ness monster sighting. Yeah, it just looks like the same old wavy patterns that they always show in those pictures. I don't think it's anything. Oh,
Magic. What I miss? Did I miss anything?
Teresa just brought up the new Loch Ness monster sighting.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. 23-year-old, right? Or something.
Yeah.
It was a young girl who
I'm still
managed
convinced
to
the Loch
see it.
Ness monster is just a really big sturgeon.
I don't know what it is. At this point, I'm thinking, why not? Could be extra dimensional. Everything else is. It's the year of extra dimensionals. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but yeah, it totally is. Entertain us. Oh, jeez. You're going to entertain yourselves. Okay, hang on. All right, we need this thing over here that you can't see. I need to move this out of the way. Need to pull this over here. Need to find our Ovilus. You know, one day I'm actually going to get one, I think, just for this. Not to even use on an investigation, just so we can use it on the on the show. So let's do it the right way. Let's do it. Let's do it how we should do it. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
On.
I love that so much.
On.
Twice for you. All right, so for real.
Ovilus. On.
Everybody can hear it, right? Okay. Everybody can hear the ovilus. Here we go. All right, so let's pull out Anna here. I'm going to set Anna on a light because she likes to be set on a light. Here we go. Okay. She's kind of heavy, but anyway. This is Anna. She's not very big. She's I don't know. She weighs a little bit though. And she disappeared. There she is. Let me pull the light back a little bit. Let's change her collar. She seemed to like that collar the last time. I got the most responses from her. All right, I'll just hold her. All right, guys, here we go. So, Ovilus is on. Anna's here. Who's going to ask the first question? Go ahead. I see an orb. It's an orb. It's a skull-shaped orb.
A balloon.
Oh yeah, it's a balloon, Tony. What's wrong with you? Anyone? And yeah, Dewey, Anna. That's her name, and it has a really interesting story because it was called Azul, and which was blue for a while, and then the funniest thing happened. One night, Maria looked at me and said her name's Anna, and I said okay, and I don't argue with my wife. That's how it works, man. You guys need to pay attention. But and later on, I was like, okay, I'm curious. Why'd you call it that? Because she doesn't know anything about the crystal skulls, by the way, at all. Like other than they're cool, she likes them, and that's it. Nothing more than that.
Legion.
Oh, don't start the Legion stuff.
Oh no.
We're not doing that, Anna. That's not you. Anyway, so I'm like, you do know that Anna, that's actually who found the Mitchell Hedges skull, right? Nope, she didn't know that. So I'm like, well, okay then, Anna, it is. This is your name from now on. So that's it. And it was just such a cool story, and I just love this little thing. And there's so much that got us to the point of having this skull. And we talk about it in the episode, but for those who won't watch or who don't watch or can't or whatever, I'll tell you now because it is such a cool story. It started at Mothman, the Mothman Festival. And I was having a bad day that day. And I have two little crystal skulls about this big. And I put one in each of my pocket. And I said, I'm going to have me a good day today. So I went down and somewhere in the middle of the show, and it was a wonderful day, by the way, in the middle of the show, this guy comes over, and I see him like make this V line straight for the table. And he comes over, and he's like, starts talking to me, and he starts talking about crystals. I'm like, okay, And he's like, hey, you ever seen these? And he pulls out these two little green skulls. And I'm like, that is not what I think it is. He's like, yeah, man, it is. These were Moldavite crystal skulls. And he's like, you want to touch them? I mean, it messes some people up, but I was like, yeah, sure. I have Moldavite. I'm good. And and so, I held these things. He's like, all you got to do is think about what you want, right? And I'm like, because he kept asking me, did you have a skull yet? And I'm like, no, I don't have one yet. I want a skull. I really want one. He's like, oh, you need to just think about it. I'm like, all right, why not? So I'm like, all right, I want a skull, So I think about it. I'm like, this is cool. I have a good experience. Yeah, it just absolutely made my day. It was a magical day. That whole festival was so much magic. And it just one of the greatest things I can think about was the stuff that happened at that festival. And so I didn't get a skull. They didn't manifest or anything. Okay, not yet. And we are at another, I think we went to Cryptid Bash after that, the Moth Boys event. Really, really cool event. It was up in near Morgantown. So we're there, and there's someone there doing a presentation, and she has some skulls. And I'm like, oh wow. And she's like, oh, you have one yet? I'm like, no, not yet. I'm gonna get one eventually. Yeah, you'll get one when the time's right, man. You'll find the right one, which is literally what he had said.
Park.
Park. I don't know what park means. It means something to some of you guys. So time goes on. Another few months go on, and Maria's cleaned the house, and she finds like I don't know where, I don't know how, but she finds like 200 and some bucks. And and I had been talking about wanting one of these for a while, and she loves crystals too. So
Stones.
yes, stones, like you. So she loves crystals and rocks too. So and stones apparently, as Anna just said. So we go to the rock shop there, where these are at. It's down there. It's in Adams County. It's right across from Serpent Mound. If any of you've been there, it's one of the best rock shops you could ever go to, ever. Incredible amount of crystals in there, and a bunch of these skulls. And so I spent probably over an hour trying to figure out which one was coming home with us. I got the skull, and it's kind of up there. It's a little pricey, but she's like, nope, you got to get it. Don't care. We came this far. You're going to get it. I'm like, all right, let's get it. And the guy was like, oh, it had on sale today. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. It's X amount off. Well, as he rings it up, it happens to be the exact, and I do mean exact down to the cent amount of what she had found. True story. So again, it's a pretty interesting case of, if you want to believe coincidence, wonderful. To me, I think it's a little bit more than that. And I just like it. This is a cool piece for me. And, I intend to find more at some point, maybe a bigger one. So anyway, that's the story of Anna and her origin story. So how's about someone ask a question? And I'm looking at the stuff right now. So let's go ahead and ask a question. What do we got? Ask, when did man's knowledge, I like this. All right, here we go. Ask, where did man's knowledge come from? There you go. Where did man's knowledge come from, Anna? So we'll wait. Space. No, I'm kidding. If that happens, I'm going to open up a metaphysical shop if that happens. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Ask, how old are you? I like that one too. Oh yeah, Shade Viking. That this is the iOvilus, which is basically it's a phone app that we use. It's mainly for just entertainment purposes, but for some reason it gets pretty weird sometimes. And one of its primary things that it likes to say, and we used to joke about this back in the day, legion. Telepathy, guys. There's your answer. That was it. Where did man's knowledge come from? Telepathy. There are those who believe that yes, that is where our knowledge came from. So I think that might be a hit. What do you think, James? You think that's I think that's a hit. All right, next question. Let's see. Let's see. Where am I at?
Ashley has one.
Legion.
Oh, quit that Legion stuff. See what I mean? It's like Wade to do that. It's entertaining. It's supposed to scare you when you're in a little, you're in a haunted house. And
Sounds like this thing was programmed by the guys from Ghost Adventures.
oh, I think it might have been. What we got, Ashley? Can you tell me more about the square in Marietta? There you go. So Ashley wants to know about the square in Marietta. And let's see. Yeah, see how quiet it gets. It'll just totally do that.
I'm thinking about it.
No, we don't know how the actual algorithm on that thing works. I've tried to figure it out. I don't know if it's based on like Wi-Fi signals, like, because they're a rudimentary EMF. They really are. I mean, they can detect changes and whatnot. But I haven't figured out what exactly triggers it. I just know something triggers it. There's something that makes it cycle through and do that. But we do get Legion a lot. It's just ridiculous. But if you noticed when we did the session the other night, those were some words I have never heard this thing say. So it was interesting, man. It was very interesting.
Legion is by far the most common word.
It is. Like Ashley said, it could be baseline. Yeah, it could be.
A lot of people don't realize too that there's no demon named Legion. If you read the Bible closely,
What's this?
it says, "I am a legion."
Hey, the last Estes
500 Roman soldiers.
method. Well, there you go. The last Estes method measure. The last Estes method I did, it was in Marietta, and it kept telling us to look for the square. Well, apparently you're supposed to measure that square, Ashley. I don't know. She said it, not me. I don't know what that means. Measure. But, this is a fun example of exactly how people read into randomness as well. So, I mean, when does it become a hits? When do you do this and you're out there in a haunted location or you're doing whatever you're doing, right? How do you consider those to be hits? Spring? Well, it is. It is almost spring. See, that's what I mean. So how do you consider something a hit versus just dumb luck? Like, what is the frequency that would constitute a hit, I guess, is what you would have to come up with.
I guess if something is very specific to what you're speaking of and not just a generic answer that's kind of similar to what you're looking for.
Right. And it's important to remember.
I would consider that a hit.
I think you're right. And I think a lot of these things are made up just for that reason. They're made up to be vague and to give you these, almost like an audio ink blot. You're going to read into that whatever your mind wants to read into it at the time. But boy, are they a lot of fun.
Some of those Ovilus type devices claim that they have a dictionary built into them that they broadcast out using EMF, and they allow the spirits to select words being broadcast.
A real Ovilus, there's a reason they cost as much as they do. They are quite a piece of equipment, and they have multiple ways. She wants you to join, I guess.
That's the ghost of Hugh Hefner.
Maybe. So they have multiple ways to be triggered. So basically,
do we make some of those?
What's that?
Do we make some of those?
I don't think it makes one of those yet. Those things are pretty advanced. I would love to see him do it though, because I know he could. The difference in a basic ITC device and like an Ovilus is that massive dictionary. Now here's where I'll get excited about this. I hate AI, you know this, but when it comes to some of the stuff it does. But could you imagine how you could take an AI and create a system that could literally generate not just words, but complete, perfect sentences randomly. You see what I'm getting at? Like you would have, it would almost be like a typewriter, I guess. It would be like the spirit version of a typewriter or whatever, It's just just a thought. Yeah, something like that.
Sort of like a digital Ouija board.
Basically. Yeah, kind of like that, but way more advanced. Like fully capable of communication. I mean, I don't know what you're going to communicate with. The Lord only knows what it would be. People just assume it's Great Uncle Bob, but it's probably not. Let's see.
Yeah, that would be me in the ghost world. People are like, "Is this Aunt Jane? Yeah, you suck." Something like that.
Yeah, see, like Ashley just said. My research partner, who's named Ann, is a hardcore skeptic. The first time we used the spirit box, the first thing it said was Ann. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And
yeah,
you know
that
what?
Kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you one real man, she's heavy. I'm going to sit this down for just a little bit. One of the things I used to do back in the day, if you listen to any of the old Origin podcast that we did back with Wayne and whatnot, I would talk about it from time to time, but I was a real blast in school. I mean, I used to conduct Zener card experiments at lunch. So, and yes, Tony, that's a true story. I didn't shock anyone for the Zener cards. I did that with other devices later on for other reasons. I built a Curlian photography unit, and it had, casualties. But anyway, I would always come up with this one thing. Like when I did the test, when I did the Zener card tests, I would get these hits, right? And it would almost be with somebody brand new. When we bring somebody brand new in, they would begin to do like, one or two hits right off the bat. And then it'd be nothing. And it would be almost like you could demonstrate a charge. They would go up, there'd be blank, and then all of a sudden you'd have another hit and another hit and another hit. And then blank. So it almost seems like there's a recharge to me in ability, or, maybe your mind gets fatigued. And I think that's one of the reasons for, like I said, preparation and, meditation. That's what that it helps you to get more focused with that kind of stuff. And the more you could focus, you could probably get quite a few. I did test one guy, and he had abnormal hits. And I mean abnormal. Like he did a run, I think, at one time that was, I think it was 7 straight. And in this session, he hit 13 out of 25. That's significant. I used to know what all that meant, but it's been so long, I don't remember anymore. But I used to be able to tell you the odds on that. But I do know that it was really, it was pretty high. I told him he needed to, we need to be playing the lottery. And they can feel eerily accurate. Yeah. Whether they are or not is just up for interpretation. That's the whole point. And I don't think that we could ever really say one way or the other. There's no way to validate some of this stuff. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that a lot of people have with the whole, the psychic field, parapsychology in general. You can't prove it.
Static.
Static. It's just a bunch of static. Like
let's act like the guys in Ghost Adventures. Dude, you see that? He just said static.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're supposed to overreact. I keep forgetting I'm doing this wrong. Sorry, guys, but that's just. I don't know. I don't think that you can get to the answer is what I'm saying. You'll never know 100%. Yep. I wonder what happens if you put a crystal skull in a microwave oven. Hey, hang on. I'll let you know. No, I'm kidding. I won't. What happens if you put a crystal skull in the oven is it's got a reflective surface. So I'm pretty sure that that reflective surface is going to blow. Yeah, it's going to blow the microwave up. I'm pretty sure.
A lot like if you stick a wad of tinfoil inside of it, probably.
Yeah. It's reflective surfaces that cause that. It's not so much. It is metal, but it's also the reflection. And I'm pretty sure that would happen. I'm not going to find out though. What you got? Oh, Adam, Mom, and I used to get 100% with each other. So, yeah, when it's the people who actually practice get very good with this stuff.
Speaking of which, some people believe if you have 2 mirrors facing each other, you can open a portal that way.
I used to do that all the time. It's probably what's wrong with me. Brandon, on my next appearance on the show, remind me to tell you about my first spirit box trial.
Okay.
And he probably built it.
Probably.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure actually. So who are we gonna get on the next episode, Bud? What are we thinking? I've got a couple people lined up. I don't want to drop any spoilers here or curse anything and jinx the whole thing. But I've got somebody lined up who's gonna be really cool. Let's just say that. And
how about I'm gonna conjure Giorgio to come on the show.
Oh gosh, yeah, keep conjuring. That's not gonna happen.
No. Hey, put your hand on your skull and say that's what you want.
No, okay. Yeah, that's it. Everybody just say yes. No.
Thinking at the
Anyway.
same time.
I know, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, everybody, please do tune in tomorrow because that show is going to be a pretty good one. We do touch onto a lot of stuff. Like I said, there's some weird stuff at the end. You can just go ahead and fast forward to that if you just want to see that. But if you want to hear the real history of these things, it's impressive. And I really hadn't considered a cover up as much until after we went in and did the research on this and found some of those links. And it's just like, why do you do this? The best way, okay, so if I'm going to cover something up, the best way that I know how to do it is to literally ignore it. I'm not going to bring attention to it. I'm not going, that's not going to happen. But literally every time they do this, they bring attention to it. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Anybody out there have any experiences that they'd like to share? Now is the time. Just either comment them in there, and we'll read them, or we can send you a link. You can come on and tell your story for all we care.
Yeah, since you have all these fancy toys nowadays, why don't you have two mirrors facing each other and see if you get any weird readings from it?
So, do you guys remember back in the day when you could do that with a video camera and the
I
TV?
remember something like
Does
that.
anybody remember that? That was actually a thing. There was a guy who used to do that. It would come on. It would be on sightings every now and again. You look back to the old episodes, you probably find it. I know Dewey remembers this, and they swore that you could, zoom into the infinity thing there, right, and see faces and whatnot. So yeah, I played with that forever. I remember just having tapes full of static and just that, twirly, twisty tunnel. I never saw anything that I can remember, but then again, I am here. Who knows? Might have had something to do with it. It's very possible. But as for mirrors, I never really liked mirrors, Brandon. They're just, something about that guy in the mirror. Hey, speaking of mirrors, let's talk. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Okay. How many of you guys have been seeing the nonsense on TikTok with the mirrors?
Yeah, that's what made me think of it, honestly.
Seems to me that we have a whole generation of people who don't know how a mirror actually works anymore. That's what it seems like to me. Tony, according to one concept of the multiverse, every last mirror image you saw was in another universe. Too deep, man. That's just too deep. So yeah, these people actually believe that you somehow the mirror knows where an item is that it can't see. They don't know how refraction works. It should terrify people. It really should. But that's not why I don't trust mirrors. I don't trust mirrors because there's this feel that you'll get from a mirror every now and again. And I can't quite put my finger on that. Maybe it's just paranoia. I don't know. It could be. But I've talked to other people about it too. And they get the same kind of a weird feeling sometimes. So it does make me wonder, Tony. Could they be just, mirrors into, or a window into another world or dimension? Who knows? I don't know. But it does go back to the ancient tale of the magic mirrors, doesn't it? And those were real things. That's not, Disney. A magic mirror was a real thing. I've actually seen them. They were very highly polished slabs of obsidian glass. And, the ancients believed that they could look into these mirrors and see everything. All around the world, the ancients had a thing that was glass and let them see everything all around the world. And it looks just like, a piece of glass, black glass. Huh. Pretty sure we did that one before. But, that's another bit of, of
It's also
lore.
an urban legend that's why they put a film on the back of mirrors. So you can't see all the way through.
Oh, geez. Don't tell them that, man. They'll be going and breaking mirrors and scraping the backs off
That
of
was a
them.
story I heard when I was in grade school, so that's been around a
Oh,
long time.
well, that's all it takes, though. See, it just takes someone to find one of those old things that we knew before and forgot, like 10 years, and then rehash it and turn it into a new fad
I'm
or
gonna
the
become
next new
TikTok
trend.
famous.
You should. You should make that a new trend. You could be trending immediately.
Listen, kids, there's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
it.
want you to see to
That's
the
it.
other side.
Yeah, you got the voice, man. It'll work. I've received stuff with black mirrors. Yeah, there you go. Tony, I don't trust
Find on
mirrors
YouTube, see if
because
there was
there's
any old VHS recordings.
no
of
way I'm
mirrors.
that goofy looking. God. Oh, geez, that's funny. I think of this. Your cell phone is a black mirror. Does the same thing. You're welcome. That's what yeah, that was the whole. He's laughing in the next post. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, misinterpreted technology, I guess as Giorgio would say, right? I mean, think about it. It could be. Scrying can produce some scary stuff through inducing a hypnagogic effect. Yep, sure can. Sure can. And back in the old days when they had home funerals, the mirrors were covered to prevent the spirits from being trapped. Yep, they sure was. That's
Have you ever been to
absolutely
an
right.
old-fashioned funeral where they used to like have the body on the dining room table and they would cover all the mirrors?
I've seen the pictures. I mean, that was the last life or past two lives ago. I can't remember back that far. It's been
Well,
a
it
while.
became an Appalachian thing, but it originally started with Germans who came over.
Ah,
They believe that from the old country. But also,
Germans.
let's sprinkle salt, I think, by the doorways to keep
Yeah,
bad spirits from coming in.
that's
That
still
during
a
funerals.
yeah, that's still a thing. And there's a lot in the paranormal circle who'll still do that to protect a place. They'll put the salt, and that's where a lot of that comes from. Those actually have
Oh yeah, they
trade
also open all the
the windows.
windows.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. Yes, and that still gets practiced actually in a lot of places. They'll open the window.
I know nurses who practice that.
Yep, they'll open the window. Yep, it's true. All right. Well, we're pushing, man, that's a good show. We're pushing about the 140 some mark, and you guys are still rolling with us. I'm digging it. When we moved into the new apartment, we found black salt in every window and doorway. Are you serious?
Now I've heard black salt being used in like Wiccan rituals. Quite more
Wow.
than that though, but I think that's where I've heard of it used.
Have you guys ever like tasted black salt?
I'm not sure.
It's delicious. Just saying. I mean, we have like all these gourmet salts. It's weird. I like.
I want to try the Canal red salt.
Yep, good stuff. And there's some other salt we've got. It's from a salt mine. Big chunks of salt, delicious stuff too. What do we got? The woman who lived there before us was evicted because she nearly burned the apartment down, saging away the demons. Yep.
You screwed that up that badly that you almost burned your house down.
You're not supposed to leave it lit. I'm just saying that's not how you do
That's
that.
what smudging is. You're supposed
Yeah.
to smudge. You don't
Yeah.
leave it lit.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I was taught that not by New Agers. I was taught that by a native friend of mine who trained me and taught me a few things, and I learned how to do it the right way. Is what I'm saying as far as that goes. And you don't burn. It's not a torch. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, it's not a torch. It's
You're
not
not
a
in a
torch.
dungeon.
It's not a torch. Yeah, exactly. You just light it, let it go out, do your thing. And honestly, I think one of the best discoveries that we found was the resin. I love resin incense now more than I do any kind of like stick incense or any of that stuff. That's ancient as well. And the only bad thing about it is that stuff sticks to your fingers. Something awful, man. It's like I've been down there working in the acrylic. It's the same stuff. It's literally the same thing. But it smells really good though. Nothing like a fresh copal, from
Yeah,
the
I've
Mayan
had
homeland.
potheads tell me the same thing.
Copal is really cool. Probably the wrong kind of resin. I'm not sure. I think we're talking about different resins. They look like little rocks. Like literally, you break them up. They're really cool.
Oh man. What Teresa just said.
Smoking them ghosts out there. Yep, that's what they were doing. We still have Bible verses written all over the front doorway. I keep waiting to see something, but I haven't yet, unfortunately. Are you serious? Like, wow. I got to
saw
tell you.
something bad.
Well, when we moved in this house, the very first thing I did when we moved in the house was I went through it with every bit of equipment I had and made sure there was nothing here that I could detect. And then we got it. Well, it was about 6, 7 months in that I realized that didn't mean anything because there was something there. And which it eventually just, it doesn't care. We had a little conversation. A lot of these times with these things, if you just have a conversation, look, you stay where you're at, leave me alone, and I'm not going to bother you. And we have an accord. If not, you're going to have to leave. And,
Yeah, if
and
it's intelligent, it'll hide from you.
Yep. And that's something I can say that was not my imagination, and we've never had an issue with it again. So it was very, very quiet. Sky Daddy Matthew McConaughey needs his crystal skull bong, and he will smoke the ghost out of the room. Oh my
That just
God.
says if you stare into an open refrigerator long enough at 3 a.m., you'll see him standing behind you.
Matthew McConaughey?
Yep.
Wow.
Starting that now.
Oh, there you go. That's how you summon the Sky Daddy. Y'all heard it here? No.
Hey,
What-
how about we
was told
tell
to
the
put
young
out
kids that
salt.
the light in your refrigerator stays on all the time?
Oh my gosh, dude. That would do it. That would totally do it. There are so many who probably don't know that. And Dewey said, the white salt, if it turns black, it was evil. That makes sense. The neighbor says the former tenant was just on drugs, but I don't know. It's old creepy building, so I'm hoping. Hey, most people hope it's not, but for you, I hope you get your wish.
Some people do drugs as an escape from reality. So.
They do. And then there are others who do it to make contact with some other reality. So,
Yep.
Both are probably not quite right as far as I'm
Ask Aaron
concerned.
Rodgers about that.
Really?
Yeah, the quarterback for the Green. For the
Oh, he's the guy who saw the Hat Man
Hat Man.
after the ayahuasca, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Stalking him ever since he did that.
Yes. And that's another thing, as far as the ceremonies and whatnot, and people taking that stuff. It's important to remember the people who originally had that, they did it for a reason. It wasn't just because they wanted to experience. I want to go numb for 6 hours and fly out of my body. They really had a reason to do that, and they had to put their mind in the right place to do it.
They believed it would put them in contact with the gods.
Their ancestors as well. Like a lot of it was to speak to your ancestors and get guidance.
Yeah, I remember the whole stereotype of Native Americans going out in the wilderness and having a vision trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That actually does happen with the Navajo did that, I believe.
There's
But it was
several.
different than the way it's portrayed on TV.
Oh gosh, yeah. There's several. Teresa, I have noticed a correlation of spirits with drugs and alcohol addicts. That's funny because I haven't, and I mean that in all sincerity. I used to think that there should be a lot more, like do you guys see things more than other people? But they tend to know the difference in what a hallucination is, which is very strange to me. I don't profess to even understand.
Maybe they see and hear things so much that they
Just write it
use more
off.
substances to get away from it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really honestly don't know. It's but it's a fascinating thing.
Probably.
There's some really good studies that were done. I know on psychedelics, for example. There was some really good studies that were done in which they were talking about, I guess, the hallucinatory factors and whatnot, and why people chose to do it, and so forth, and their perceptions. And they all pretty much knew what they're seeing was 100% a hallucination. They didn't think it was real, is what I'm getting at. Yet, when you see something like some of these witnesses have seen, like these, a ghost or a bedroom visitation, of something that appears at the foot of your bed, or it's holding you down, and that's not a hallucination. So there's something else going on at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, either something is, physically messing with you, or there's something that's messing with you on a very, very deep mental level. So deep that it can control your fear, your whole perception. But when it's happening that it's absolutely real. That's a good point. Not hallucinations, cryptids, and poltergeist phenomena. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the one. We know for a fact of one cryptid that probably did come out of that, James. And somehow that thing, it gets talked about a whole lot.
I can imagine if Bigfoot has a really sensitive smell, they could smell alcohol on somebody.
I don't think
Probably
they
be
come.
curious about it.
I don't think they come to them. I think that would be something that they would
Maybe
just veer away from. Well, no, that's a good question. You made a very interesting point without even knowing you did it. A lot of people think that they do. That's one of the first questions you ask. You saw Bigfoot or you saw this. Were you on drugs? It automatically goes to it,
Yep.
right? I'm thinking that if Bigfoot is as leery of things such as infrared, or like they say, you can't catch them on infrared because it can sense the light, so it runs away. That's why people catch it on thermal and not infrared. But that's one of the theories anyway. They can smell. They can smell incredibly well. So if someone's out there and they're smoking, I'm betting you Bigfoot's not going to come up, is what I'm trying to say. I just don't see that happening. Now, as for alcohol, maybe, but depends on how much they've had to drink, I mean, I would think that they could probably smell that too.
So here's something interesting.
That's a good theory, man.
I found a list of animals that that we know of that can see infrared.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this is a short list. It's vampire bats, goldfish, mosquitoes can, salmon, cottonmouth snakes, rattlesnakes, copperheads, pythons, bullfrogs, and bedbugs.
They can see infrared, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we know that exists
cool.
in nature.
Yep. Yep.
So it's not really out of the.
Sure, it's not all the ballpark, yeah. We just had a conversation with SRI and a client. No one we knew had ever hallucinated something that wasn't there while on drugs. Yeah. And James, I think it has to do with the bad energy, like drugs, alcohol. I see what you're saying. He's trying to say negative energy attracts. That's what you're getting at.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can tell you, I've been in places that were negative, and something's going to happen there, is what I'm getting at. So yeah, negative places, negative people, yes. That's
Your
what I
spidey
agree
senses
with.
go through the roof.
Yep. Correlation with bad energy, domestic violence, poverty, substance abuse, depression, especially depression, as Teresa said. Yes, exactly. So yeah, guys, I mean, oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, and then you have to ask yourself, well, what is that? What's causing, the depression and the thoughts, or is it vice versa? So again, I think we get to that point where it's like, man, we just don't know, do we? And we're just throwing our best guesses at it. And you just got to get to the point to where I guess you're balanced.
I've heard some people believe that a lot of spirits are energy vampires.
I've heard that. Yeah, yeah. Have you ever actually been around something that you think, or someone that you think could be one? By the way, oh, I have. Yeah, yeah. If you're ever in a crowd and you just all of a sudden feel completely drained, that's what's happening. There's somebody there who's either consciously doing it, because they don't have to be consciously doing it, by the way. That can be an unconscious thing as well. Either someone or something can pull your energy, and when it happens, you literally are it's almost like a low blood sugar kind of effect. I know Teresa knows exactly what I'm talking about, by the way. Yeah, you feel this, and when you feel it, it's undeniable. But there's ways to kind of protect yourself from that as well. I worked with a girl who I swear was an energy vampire. I couldn't be in the room with her for more than a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Totally drains
I've been
you.
around people and felt bad energy off of them, though.
Well, that's different. But with this, imagine you've been around somebody and you just literally can't focus. You almost can't keep your eyes open. Like you're just, you're zonking out. You're doing everything you can to stay conscious. That's kind of what it feels like. It's wild, man. It can be very, very draining. Extremely draining. Well, friends, folks, everyone else, we're coming up on that magical 2-hour mark. And God bless you all for hanging out with us. It's been fun. And I hope you had some fun. We had some fun. We answered some questions this time around. Like I said, watch that episode tomorrow. Tell us what you think. Make sure that you tune in again next week. We're working on another actual really good one. I can't say anything because I don't know and I don't want to jinx it, like I said, but we might have a good guest. If not, I've got a good topic. And so we'll be back here talking about some more weird stuff. Get your stories ready because we're going to be doing some Tales of the Wild and Weird. You can either send those directly to us, or I could send you a link and you can come on and tell your own. It doesn't matter which to us, but it's all about just letting everyone know, this stuff's it's real. Whatever it is, there's a weird side to our world, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to investigate that weird side of our world every Thursday, and we're going to do it with everybody here, and we're going to get all of your stories, and hopefully.
Don't forget too that they can submit it anonymously if they want.
Yes, you absolutely can submit it anonymously. We won't read your name unless you want us to. Yep. What did Tony say? Not to be a Sith Lord, but are we sure it's not bad energy so much as strong emotional energy? Is the dark side stronger? Ooh.
Well, I think that my theory is that some of them feed off positive energy and they drain so much of that out of you that the only thing left is the negative energy.
That's possible too. I love the community
also
of
heard
the
that
people
some people
here.
think there are certain spirit entities that are kind of like leeches and they cling on to people and just feed off of them.
Well, that's Adam. See, that's Adam just admitted. He's yeah. See, right there. So yeah.
I get weird vibes from Adam. It's hard to say what he might be.
All right, guys. I want to thank you all.
Energy vampire.
All for showing up. As always, make sure that you do like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and watch the page. We'll be posting up what's going to be going on. We got a lot of stuff that's coming up here real soon. We're going to try to stay on top of everything. It's really not easy to do. Like today, just to give you an idea, we couldn't record. We recorded Tuesday, right? Is that what we did? We recorded Tuesday this week. And, I was cutting at the last minute to get everything uploaded. So I had to do that today. I got paintings done in the meantime as well. There's the shows coming up. This has just been, it's crazy. But we're going to keep doing these things for you. And they're hopefully you're going to keep tuning in and watching them. I mean, that's why we do them. So we're going to try to get out there, like I said, and get some different topics for you. And we'll see what we come up with next week. I do know that we have a pretty good show coming up, and we'll probably be talking a little bit about what you guys see tomorrow on the Crystal Skull episode. What is it? I saw what I thought was a hang glider until it flapped its wings. Holy, yeah, that's big, dude. That's hang gliders don't flap their wings, so that's something. Definitely something. And just to remind you guys, I believe Tony you're up next as far as the paranormal discussion group goes. I believe, right?
I want to go.
Yeah, you need to try to make it down
Yeah.
to see Tony. Because he's going to be doing extra dimensional travel, I believe, and I'm hoping he conjures a portal. That's I'm really just
Two
I'm
mirrors facing each other.
I'm going for that reason right there, just to see if he opens a portal, and I don't know. Maybe I can get back home. I don't know. So let's see. Yeah, there it is. There it is. April 26th, Wednesday, 6 p.m. St. Albans Historical Society, and they are fun, guys. If you're around, definitely try to make a point to come down. I'll be there. I don't know if Brandon will be there, but I'll be there. And I know that there's a bunch of people come. These things are fun. And I'll be also speaking there sometime in July. You'll get to see me talking a little bit about some stuff. And we might do that live as well. So we're still trying to figure out the logistics on all that. So that way everybody who wants to see can see. Okay.
Get Joe to quit making chicken salad for a day.
We can't. We can't get Joe to quit making chicken salad for a day, and that's just how it is. But he is still, showing up for the podcast, so that's good. And he might make it in here every now and again, but we're going to hold down the fort until we can get him back. All right, fellas, I think this has been fun. I am exhausted, however, and there are no energy vampires around, so do with that what you will. Let's see.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends.
I'm trying to find that. I was going to put all that up there for you guys. Yeah, that's already up. Yeah, I guess.
We're also on Reddit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The
Try
Reddit
to get
thing.
people to join my Reddit. Come on.
Yeah. Join the Reddit. It's right here, right? Is that it?
Yep.
There you go. See, I did it. There you go. Join the Reddit. They have some interesting discussions going on over there. And it's a little bit more, I guess, unregulated. Is that fair to say?
It's a little more Wild West than Facebook.
A little more Wild West, yeah, than the Facebook. And of course, thanks for everybody who is on the Facebook group who does come over and watch our stuff, and as well as YouTube. I want to give you all a really big shout out because the YouTube community, you guys are rocking it as far as I'm concerned. We are just a couple of hundred away now. I think like maybe 400 or 500 away from reaching our 4,000th hour, and that's significant. And I thank you all for that. Can't do it without you, obviously. And like I said, the more we do, the more you get. So be expecting to see more. You're leveling up. You're leveling up. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I think that was a fun episode, and we'll see you back here Thursday. Until then, everybody needs to remember, watch out for the energy vampires, and apparently, I guess, stay wild and weird, because that's how you're supposed to end these shows, I think. Is that right?
Stay wild and weird, everybody.
Yeah, that's it. Stay wild and weird. All right, guys. Good night.